What happens when your own parents care more about a payday than their kid? Man, I lived it, and it tore me apart. My mom and dad faked my little sister Sophie's kidnapping to scam a fundraiser in her name, cashing in on everyone's pity while I was dying inside. I found out, blew their lies wide open, and cut them off for good. Now, a year later, they're knocking, begging to fix things. I was 16, just a junior at Casper High in Wyoming, trudging home from a brutal day of algebra and gym, but pumped because it was Sophie's 10th birthday. I'd been bussing tables at Dino's Diner for months to buy her this glittery sketchbook set. She was nuts about drawing, always doodling unicorns and superheroes. Our family was big on birthdays, streamers, cheesy pop music, mom's lopsided cakes. We weren't rich, dad ran a tire shop, mom did payroll for a feed store, but those days felt like gold. I swung open our creaky front door, yelling, "Sophie, your VIP gift's here." Silence hit me like a slap. Her room was empty, bed made, no backpack, her purple Chuck Taylors gone from the hall. I tore through our drafty ranch house, calling her name, heart picking up. Checked her closet, the laundry room, even the dusty attic where we'd hide during storms. Nothing. It was like she'd been sucked into a void. Mom and dad weren't home, so I figured they'd grabbed her for a surprise, maybe burgers at Rusty's. I paced, checking my phone, but by 7 p.m. when their pickup rumbled into the drive, I was a mess. Sophie's gone. I blurted the second they walked in. Their faces fell, mom's eyes went wide, dad's jaw tightened. "What do you mean, gone?" Mom gasped, clutching her purse like it'd save her. The next few weeks were a nightmare. We plastered Casper with missing posters, Sophie's school photo, her gap-toothed grin staring back from every bulletin board. Neighbors scoured parks and alleys, cops chased leads that fizzled out. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, my stomach a knot of dread. I'd lie awake, picturing Sophie scared, alone, or worse. I dropped 10 pounds, dizzy half the time, but kept going, handing out flyers, knocking on doors, praying for a miracle. Mom and dad were all over the news, mom sobbing into mics, dad's voice cracking as he begged for tips. They launched a GoFundMe, Bring Sophie Home. And it exploded, $50, €0 in days from locals, churches, even strangers in Denver. I didn't care about the money. I'd have burned it all to hear Sophie's giggle again. I thought my parents were broken like me, fighting for her. A month in, everything shifted. I woke up at 4 a.m., throat dry, and shuffled to the kitchen for water. Mom and dad were in the dining room, voices low but sharp. "Sophie's gone, yeah, but this cash is a godsend," Mom said, sounding relieved. "We're talking new house, maybe a boat." "Damn straight," Dad said. "If I could disappear for this kind of dough, I'd be out the door. Sophie's giving us a future." My blood turned to fire. I stormed in, hands shaking. "What the hell's wrong with you?" I yelled, voice breaking. "Sophie's missing, and you're planning vacations." Mom flicked her wrist like I was a mosquito. "Don't be so dramatic, Ethan. We're hurting too. You're blowing this out of proportion." I wanted to smash something, but Sophie's face flashed in my head, her drawings, her laugh, and I just broke. I sank to the floor, tears burning my cheeks. Dad scooped me up, dumped me in bed, and I cried until I passed out. After that, I couldn't look at them. I hid in my room, only coming out to shower or grab their leftover meatloaf at 2 a.m. Then I saw Mom's Instagram, not a plea for Sophie, but a post about Sophie's Shield, a new nonprofit to save kids from predators. It reeked of a hustle, but in weeks, they quit their jobs to run it full-time. They were glued to their laptops, schmoozing donors, while I was a ghost in my own house. If I dared mention Sophie, Dad snapped, "Stop wallowing, Ethan. We're building her legacy." I begged for therapy. Mom scoffed, "Suck it up. Real men don't need shrinks." I started my own ways to keep Sophie close. Every Thursday, her favorite day because of art class, I'd lock myself in my room, scrolling through our old TikTok duets, her dancing like a dork, me pretending to be annoyed. I'd play her voice memos, her chatter about Pokemon, terrified I'd forget how she sounded. On the 8th of each month, the day she vanished, I'd ride my bike to her spots. The library, the pond where we'd skip rocks, carrying that sketchbook set, hoping I'd spot her purple hoodie in the crowd. Life was a black hole. I didn't want new friends. It felt like betraying Sophie to laugh with people who'd never met her. Meanwhile, Mom and Dad were on top of the world, grinning in interviews. No tears since the town vigil. 2 years later, on Sophie's 12th birthday, my phone buzzed with a text from a random number. It was garbled, but I caught her voice through the noise. Pine Hollow. My heart stopped. Mom and Dad were snoring. I swiped Dad's debit card, booked an Uber, and shot 2 hours north, palms sweaty, mind racing. Pine Hollow was a dirt road near my great uncle's old hunting cabin, a rickety place we'd visit as kids. I didn't know how I'd find her, but as the Uber dropped me off, I saw it. The cabin, sagging under snow. I crept to a grimy window. Dad was inside, stirring soup, Sophie's favorite, tomato basil. A corner floorboard was pried up, revealing a cellar door with a padlock. My breath caught as Dad unlocked it, and 2 small hands reached for the bowl frail, but with Sophie's tiny heart-shaped scar on the knuckles. I felt sick. I fumbled my phone, hitting record, hands trembling so bad the screen shook. Dad spoke to someone below, words lost in the wind. Then his head snapped toward the window. I dropped, heart hammering, pressing into the icy siding. Footsteps thudded. I held my breath as Dad's flashlight beam sliced the dark, inches from my face. After an eternity, he muttered, "Damn raccoons," and retreated. I peeked. He was tossing cans into a bag, grabbing his keys. His truck roared off, and I scrambled to the door. Locked. I remembered Uncle Ray's trick. A key hidden in a rusted coffee can under the porch. My fingers, numb from cold, found it. Inside, the cabin reeked of mildew. I knelt by the cellar door, voice shaking. "Sophie, it's Ethan." Nothing. I pried it open, phone light piercing the black. "Sophie, it's me." A shuffle, then she appeared curled on a thin cot, skin like paper, hair a tangled mess, but my sister. "Ethan." Her voice was a ghost, barely there. "Is it you?" I climbed down, nearly falling. She was a skeleton. Cheeks hollow, eyes like bruises. "I've been searching 2 years." I choked, tears spilling. "They said you were dead." She shook her head, shivering. "Dad said I had to stay here for the family, for money. Said they'd take you if I left." The cellar was a prison cot, a bucket, some crayons, a flickering bulb. "They kept you here all this time?" I asked, gut twisting. She nodded. "Since my birthday. Dad brings food, Mom visits sometimes." Both knew while I mourned. "We're gone," I said, grabbing her hand. "Dad could be back." "Where?" Her eyes were wide, terrified. "Somewhere safe." I pulled her up, her legs buckled from the cramped space. Dad had made her do squats to stay presentable, for when they rescued her. Daylight hit her, and she flinched. I jammed a knit cap on her head, shoving granola bars, oranges, water into a backpack. "Hurry," I said. "Dad's probably just at the gas station." Sophie clung to me. "What if he's right? What if they take you? They're the criminals," I swore. We slipped out, dodging the main road. Sophie knew Dad used it. We hit a trail, thorns snagging our clothes, but Sophie led, remembering Dad's night walks to keep her strong. Hours passed. Sophie's steps faltered, her body weak from years below ground. As dusk fell, we were lost, trees closing in like a trap. A truck engine growled. "Hide." I yanked Sophie behind a fallen log. Dad's voice echoed, fake worry. "Sophie, where are you?" "He knows." Sophie whispered, trembling. "SHH." I hissed. His flashlight swept close, muttering about family duty. He left, and we stumbled on, my phone at 5%. After hours in the dark, lights flickered. The cabin, we'd circled back. Dad's truck was there, and Mom's sedan pulled up. From the shadows, we watched them argue on the porch. "How'd you screw this up?" Mom hissed. "The charity's done if she's found. Someone took her." Dad snapped. "We gotta get her before the cops do." No love, just panic over their scam. I pulled Sophie back. Her foot cracked a twig. They froze. "What's that?" Mom asked. "Deer," Dad said, but his light swung our way. We held still, hearts pounding. They schemed to tell police Sophie was returned, but ran off, traumatized. We retreated, trudging through the night. I carried Sophie, her weight light as air, her breath shallow. Dawn broke, and we hit a gas station, neon buzzing. A sheriff's cruiser rolled in. I froze, fearing their lies. Then I saw MS, Hopper, my English teacher, filling her jeep. I hid Sophie behind a stack of tires and ran over. "MS Hopper, I need help, it's Sophie." She blinked. "Your sister, what's going on?" "She's alive. My parents hid her for the fundraiser money." I poured it out, voice cracking. She looked skeptical but followed. When Sophie stepped out, Harper gasped. "My God, it's her." Sophie whispered, "Hi," shaking. Harper knelt. "You hurt, safe." "They locked me in a cellar for money," she said. Harper's face hardened. "We're getting you safe," then calling help. "Not cops yet. My brother's a family lawyer." As we climbed into her jeep, Dad's truck screeched in. "That's him," I hissed. We ducked. Harper pulled out, Dad none the wiser. At her brother Tom's house, I spilled everything: cabin, cellar, escape, showing the video. Tom, a lawyer, called a child welfare expert. "You're safe," he said, giving us a guest room. Sophie collapsed, asleep in seconds. I couldn't. Their betrayal, a knife in my chest. Yelling woke me. Mom and Dad at the door, demanding us, calling me delusional. Tom blocked them. I saw the video. Sophie's story matches Ethan's. "What video?" Dad growled. I shook Sophie awake. "They're here, be ready." The fight escalated. Harper returned, saying police were en route. I stepped out, shouting, "I recorded it. Sophie in the cellar. You plotting for cash." Their masks shattered. "Ethan, we were scared for you." Mom purred, fake as hell. "You caged her for 2 years." I roared. Sophie grabbed my hand. "For money. You told me," she said, voice steady. Dad lost it, bellowing for us to come down. Tom and Harper held them off. Mom shoved, a lamp crashed. I locked us in, dresser against the door. Sirens wailed. They fled. Cops took statements. Social worker MS Vega recorded Sophie's cellar life, my video, their garage talk. Our parents were nabbed at the state line. We stayed with foster parents, the Hendersons, until Aunt Leela arrived from Colorado. She was gutted, taking us in. Revisiting home was surreal. Sophie's room, a fake memorial, the sketchbook untouched. I gave it to her. Her smile was the old Sophie, bright and real. In Colorado, Aunt Leela gave us therapy, school, a home. The trial was a circus. My video buried them. Dad got 27 years, Mom 24 for kidnapping, abuse, fraud. No victory, just a hollow ache for the parents we deserved. Sophie's 13th birthday was simple pizza, an Avengers cake, her new friends. She hugged me, whispering, "Thanks for saving me." Never stopped looking, I said. She grinned, splashing me in the creek. "You're my hero." Nightmares still hit, but we're mending. We'll make it, right? Sophie asked, staring at the stars. Damn right, I said, her laugh lighting the dark. We're unstoppable.